on down to round one of the Westpac Women's Premiership for 2024. I am Nick Neary, and joining me, as always, Donnie Bell, back for another big season.
Absolutely, mate. Grand final rematch. I guess the Ellenbrook Rabbitohs trying to turn the tables. They've been the dominant force in this competition for so long, since the Women's Rugby League began in Western Australia, and finally Joondalup were able to get the better of them on the big day last year. They'll be looking to go back to back and to start this season well. So I think we're in for a great game.
Yeah, I think Ellenbrook would be going with the saying, don't call it a comeback, because we've been here for years. It's a blip on what is an immaculate record, let's say, and I think they'll come out and want to win this game this evening against Joondalup, but I wouldn't be too surprised if we see Ellenbrook still focusing on a season as a whole and setting this season up for success rather than an out-and-out victory.
Absolutely. I mean, this isn't the game that they want to win. They want to win that last game of the season, not the first game of the season. So while we call it a grand final rematch, at the end of the day, it's round one in a new season, and yeah, they want to start well. They've got a number of key players that sort of come back into this side. Like, it's a different looking team, but Kaylee Thompson back is an absolutely massive inclusion. Tui Cope is another player that we'll see that's got incredible skills, just an absolute talent. So that they still look a very, very strong team.
Sarah Assam goes around again for another year. It's going to add class. You wonder when the younger Assam will come back into the fold throughout the season and will only getting better. I mean, the stock list is always going to be there from an Ellenbrook perspective. Comes onto the Joondalup side and starting to see a bit of an emerging younger side out of them already to start the year.
Yeah, absolutely. You sort of look at that 1 to 5, they're back five, and there's some new names in there that we're going to have to get used to, but still a really impressive looking forward pack. Chanel Edwards is back. We know what we're going to get from her. Amaria Edwards, Topaz Porter. I mean, it's a really good looking forward pack that's going to be difficult for Ellenbrook to handle, but they're a little light on numbers for round one though.
Yeah, it looks like they might have even been walking in with the 14 maybe. We're still unconfirmed around the grounds here at Admiral Park this evening to get us underway for round one. Joondalup, of course, at home, and this is where really the fairy tale began for them, was in that qualifying final against the Rabbitohs. It was a muck of a game, probably Chanel Edwards' worst game she's ever played, and probably the one only bad game she's ever played in her career. But then obviously fired back very strongly. They got the win on that night, and they got the win in the grand final. So certainly no danger off there, or no water off her back at least.
Yeah, well, Chanel doesn't ever bring it up either. So.
No. Set and ready to go. Round one for 2024. The Rabbitohs taking on the Giants. Live here for a bit of NRL WA action. Joondalup to kick first from home.
Stay behind the kicker.
Set and underway. Short kick. Nice little tidy work. Rangi Clare doesn't really want to take the first hit up.
Well, that's something. Mahina Rangi Clare getting the ball the first play. Something I'm looking forward to seeing is her move into 9. Played in the halves a lot during the absence of Kaylee Thompson, but now Kaylee's back in the 7. I don't know how much 9 she has played, but a really crafty, really clever footballer. As we see an early penalty to the Rabbitohs, will put them on the front foot early.
Yeah, just a little bit slow retiring and trying to more just ask for compliance, not even laziness there, the referee. Good to see Assam to get the first hit up and out of the way, and will probably follow up into the second here. Strong tackling by Joondalup in defence. Trying to take a look at both lines of attack. They set out on the right-hand side. 2 lines ready to play. Ruru Hanaki was bustling in from fullback. To switch out open side for Assam. Takes Edwards on, head on. Lining up 10 out from goal. Got 1 in play. And they've got to set up and think a little bit wider. Rabbitohs will keep it straight for now. Rangi Clare. Options are plenty now. Short side. Going through the set of hands. Nice work by Thompson to get the offload. Still 4 short. A little bit of lost control underneath. Joondalup with a good defensive set.
Yeah, they held on well. You saw Thompson there, went right to the line, gave the ball late. But just put the runner under a little bit of pressure. Joondalup for Sierra. They survived the first attacking raid from the Rabbitohs. And now they want a completed set of their own. Get down the other end of the field. They feed the scrum. Just the hit up. Settler first up from the Giants. Parakura Shernak goes into dummy half. Just the one wide to Topaz Porter. She's up on the 20-metre line. A sloppy play the ball though from Porter. And a couple of errors, just giving firstly a penalty and then the error, but it's a field position for the Rabbitohs. They're dominating early. Now they've got to convert this into points.
Yeah, I like this by Ellenbrook. Certainly no panic. They wanted to take this game on. A lot of 1v1 shown around the ground. Set to go again. Thompson. Straight to the line again. They work through a couple sets of hands. Michael Petuna out there. Tackled really wide. Opting to stay really tight towards the sideline. Thompson will now fill in short side. And they wanted to play quickly. Didn't really get a chance. Rungi Clare eventually underneath it. Left behind. Costly. Hamarami.
Yeah, Jeremiah there just sort of had a bit of a look up and put the ball down, and again lets the Giants off the hook. But they've been solid defensively so far. Joondalup really well organised. But that defensive toll could tell towards the back end as Marie Edwards taking that one forward for the Giants. Harry Kurushernak again, the short ball from dummy half. That's Jupp taking that one forward. Now they go, well, they look to go a bit wider and just dummy and go. Parakura Shernak had to run herself. Now Warren. Warren goes out the back and they're on the outside now, the Giants. The Giants into the backfield, our first line break. Herrera went straight through, one-on-one there, Ruru Hanaki, an important tackle. Warren gets the kick through on the last. Jeremiah just allows it to bounce. Didn't want anything to do with that. Just kept her arms behind her back. But it bounces kindly for the Rabbitohs.
I mean, it was interesting enough because you could only play the ball backwards there, Donny, and still wanted to keep their hands out of mischief.
Well, she's already dropped one down the other end of the field. Didn't want to come up with the same mistake again. That's stripped one-on-one and knocked on, I think, from the Giants. That is the ruling from James Maggio.
Natalia Tarawa just threw that one a little bit behind the running on player. Left it a little bit awkward. No real damage done. Setting a good precedent for the season early out there.
Yeah, well, I have had the pleasure of refereeing a game Kaylee Thompson's been in before. She knows the rules better than most referees, and she does try and referee from the halfback position at times. As Turner gives the short ball called forward, and just out looking at the mime here from Nick Neary.
All day. You could see it coming just before the pass. It's a lot of hard work to get up to the line late there, and well, if you're shoveling that laterally, you probably just want to think about going back door. Or even take the hit up yourself. Well, haven't seen Jurea have a run yet. It's still very early days, but want to make sure you're committing that first defender. Big opportunity now.
Certainly know as a half that Turner does love the contact. But a great chance now for the Giants. The first time they've really had a chance with down this end of the field. Gilmore Spence one off the ruck from the scrum. Comes across to Jupp. Jupp picks out a target. Never looking to the outside to Chanel Edwards. Was always just taking the hit up. Edwards gets her turn now. Gets a late offload. Back to Jupp. Jupp again looks to the outside. Which takes it into contact. We get a chance now to see the Rabbitohs defence. Towards the line, and Biddle chopped down just around the shoulders there, the Rabbitohs. They work to this right-hand corridor again. Dummy and go from Herrera. Tackle 5. They haven't thrown a lot at them. Been good defence from the Rabbitohs. The kick across field. It is a contest. Knocked on there in the end on the last tackle from Joondalup.
Just got stuck for the whole middle part of that set. Ellie Warren was out to the left, and it was a good option, tackle 2, to go through Jupp, and she got it back and worked him across. But then there was no one playmaking still on the right-hand side, and it had to come back to Warren just to spark anything. She had a pretty well-organised line out to the left. Unfortunate.
Well, going towards the sideline there, the Rabbitohs. Doing well to stay in the field of play. It's Turner.
That's the one we're after.
Yeah, there was the contact. Runs into her opposite number in jersey 6, but Ashley Jupp, not your traditional 5'8". Very solid defensively, and not playing in the halves either, just wearing jersey number 6. So get to the end of their set, kick from inside the 40.
Good space.
From Thompson. A long way back for Herrera to go back and chase it. It's one of the advantages that Thompson brings, is a very, very clever kicking game.
Well, followed by 4 good chases as well, putting a lot of pressure on Joondalup. Make sure they are honest in the return of the kick. Foxtrot nowhere really to escape the tackle.
The kick chase, it's all about attitude, and Rabbitohs showing the attitude spot on to begin with. But still 0-0 here on the Fuel to Go and Play scoreboard in Westpac Women's Premiership. The Giants, again, just rucking it through the middle there, El Warren, and gets a late offload that puts some pressure on her teammate. Jerea Turner wasn't doing a soft tackle there either. Made sure she knew about it. The kick from the Giants into a little bit of space. It sits up nicely, though, for Ruru Hanaki.
Another big year for Ruru Hanaki, you've got to think. It's only been probably 15 to 20% improvement each year, which is quite a lot. But now you're starting to think that there's a breakout season coming very soon.
Yeah, you'd think that this year might be her year.
It's just a matter of sharing the ball within Ellenbrook sometimes, though. There's plenty of mouths to feed. Typically talk about it in the other oval ball sports on how you're going to have to share the ball around. Well, it actually gets difficult with Ellenbrook because everyone wants to play.
Absolutely. There's certainly plenty of talent in the team as Turner. She gets a little bit of her own medicine there from Topaz Porter. The Rabbitohs, they get to the outside. They run out of room. Go into touch.
Having to think about the penalty.
Well, the touch judge did put the flag up.
Did you catch an ear of that as well? Little Kaylee, zip it. 2 warnings early. She might actually have to be careful. Very early in the first half still.
Great run from dummy half from Parakura Shernak. And one of the Giants' best here early. Now they get out of dummy half. Another player that's been fairly impressive is Porter, and she comes out the other side. And another important tackle from Ruru Hanaki. He's been called upon twice to come up with try-saving tackles. Warren turns that underneath. Standing in the tackle but can't get the pass away is Gilmore Spence. Now with Edwards. Just trucking it forward as they're on the front foot now. They'll look for a quick play the ball.
Have a look. 11, stay out of it. 11, stay out of it.
Well, you can hear the referee calling players
really
out for the Rabbitohs. The 11 must have stayed out of it. Now the Giants get to the end of their set, kicking across field. Again allowed to bounce, sits up kindly though for the Rabbitohs. They've had a couple of nice bounces. There's been a couple of dangerous sort of kicks that have just done the right thing for the visitors.
Good work to break out blindside as well. Start the set off nicely. Got to exit effectively again, just drawing 6 or 7 into the contest at the moment, eventually brought to ground by Parakura Shernak.
You just feel like Ellenbrook maybe struggling a little bit with that power game.
Yeah, the physicality starting to warm up from Chanel Edwards and a few others like Jupp, who had a couple of good runs early. haven't really seen much of a response except for a little bit of hard hitting from Dre Turner, probably the biggest one out there at the moment.
Absolutely.
Penalty for the
we talk about the Giants, still a very strong forward pack, whereas the Rabbitohs, a few unheralded names in their pack here tonight. Just working their way into this contest. Got Sarah Assam, the leader of the pack, the clear leader of the pack, but Hayley Jeremiah, the other front rower.
Keeps her feet there as well.
Thompson, again, sort of aiming at the ball with a lot of their defence, and it has forced a couple of errors already. It goes to Assam. Wants a quick play of the ball. A great chance now for the Rabbitohs. Short ball tipped on. It's with Cope. Now in the middle with Turner. Turner goes to Thompson. Thompson's running a hole. And that hole closed by Chanel Edwards. They come back to the left with Turner. Turner, a little dab over the top. Is there a contest? It's tapped forward by the Giants. It's taken by Jeremiah. Gets the offload away to Harris. Harris towards the line. And the referee, I believe, is going to point to the spot. He wants to have a chat with his touch judge first of all. But Chico Harris looks like she's got a cross for the first try of the season. A long consultation.
Yeah, I don't think there was any cause for double move on the line.
On
We'll
the
take
line.
it. First try of the season awarded in the end. Beautiful build-up from the Rabbitohs to keep ball live. Yeah, I didn't think there was exclusively any double movement or anything underneath there. It was just a question of short. Was held down lower rib level on the way down.
I'm not making a decision. There's someone there. You could find someone sitting. I'm just letting you know. Just play footy. Let me do my job.
We've heard those conversations going throughout this game already. It's early in the season and getting a little bit of chirp from both sides, calling both captains out to just let them know that he's the referee. He's going to control the game. Just allow him to do his job. And again, good comms there from James Maggio, just letting them know what the standard is, and that if he has to, he'll take further action.
And always thank you to LMSC for providing such good technical service down here at the grounds. Crystal clear audio to go 6-0 up. Good strike of the footy. Needs to raise the flag. And over it goes. 6-0 Ellenbrook Rabbitohs. Beautiful start to this game.
They did dominate the game early on, but were unable to post points. And then Joondalup sort of got themselves into the arm wrestle, and it's strange they have given up first points. As we have another look at this try to Harris, and again, you see the ball definitely on the ground. It was just a question as to whether it got to the line. The referee had a chat to the touch judge, who was happy that he'd seen the ball on the chalk, and the try is awarded.
Time you run.
Got to send this long, surely. Short was good first option.
I don't know whether it was intentionally short, the first one. I think maybe miskicked, but oh, and that one bobbles around.
Calls play.
Release.
Nowhere really for Jean Alley to go after slow pick up of the ball. We'll start lining up now. Coverage coming across on the tackle. Topaz Porter held on well.
A good first carry from Tukiwaho there. Just a bit of increased leg speed out there.
Well done. 2. Find your ladies.
Out, gets the offload away. Rabbitohs looking to just go through the middle for Sandy Grendel.
3.
We see Claire get out of dummy half. Second carry in this set. We'll put down heavily there, Ali. Slow to her feet.
Hold. 6. Stay out of it. 6.
So far looking a pretty sharp set after points from the Rabbitohs. They get to their kick. Claire going across field. Dummies goes. Ashley Jupp just stayed on the job. Made the tackle. No markers. Turner at dummy half. Goes across to Thompson. Thompson puts a little kick in. It's going to be difficult to take. It's knocked on. Well, for a second there, I thought she was just going to look at it and put her head in the hands there, Moika. But eventually picks it up. And scrum, loose head and feed for the Rabbitohs. Another chance to extend this 6-0 lead.
Jupp's defence has been pretty good so far tonight. Both halves have had a crack at her. There's been a few other defensive efforts, but seems to be the one that you don't just think you're going to slip on through at the moment. Take another look at the little knock on. Wasn't happy with herself at all, Moika.
Turner turns it underneath. Calamira towards the line. Wanted a quicker play the ball than she was allowed to have. It comes to Coate. Coate, always dangerous, had the ball free. They come in and wrap that up. That was important. Tifo that wrapped up the ball took responsibility as Turner gets it out. Ruranaki towards the line. And again, the Giants get numbers there and come up with an important tackle. Claire goes from dummy half, and we've got a penalty against the Rabbitohs. Ruranaki towards the line, and again, the Giants get numbers. Well, again, you hear the very clear explanation as to the reason. The person playing the ball just took 2 steps forward, took out a couple of defenders. That allowed Claire to dive over from dummy half.
Looks mysterious on the replay through the shrubs as well. Beautiful fauna down here at Admiral Park.
Tackle.
Look, yeah, that's exactly trying to sneak through. Some would say there, Johnny. Special effects are plenty here with LMSC. Coming out of their back half, Joondalup. Burns a couple already. Nice little jig on the inside, biting off an extra couple of metres.
I'm surprised we haven't seen a bit more of her so far in this game. It's just been injected into the action.
Now fills in at half as well. Good user around the ball. Warren's kick nice and high, a couple around for the Rabbitohs. They don't look too on keen at taking these out of the air at the moment. Eventually the call made. Good little switch play out the back. Chance for Ruranaki to build up a head of steam. Lost forward on the intercept. A little let off for the Rabbitohs there. It was a good run by Ruranaki, but didn't need to throw that.
Well, again, it's been a bit of a theme from Joondalup so far. They're really targeting the ball carry of the Rabbitohs. So again, looking for that one-on-one strip, and Joondalup coming up with a knock-on. That's the second time they've attempted that, and just a real concerted effort. It seems to be something that they perhaps identified, that the Rabbitohs have some loose carries in their team, and that's an opportunity for them to wrestle possession from them. But so far it hasn't worked. It's just given the Rabbitohs field position, as it has again here. Calamira right in the middle of the park. Sarsam put down awkwardly. Made it tough stuff though, Sarah Sarsam. Gets up quickly and plays the ball and allows Tukiwaho to again set a nice platform. Claire on the back of that. Now Turner from dummy half, and again too quick for the markers to get set. Drea's able to take that 10 metres before running into Jupp. So they've got the Giants pedalling backwards. It's Kaylee Thompson, she loves this sort of position, but the pass just a little bit behind Penueta, who puts it down.
Really struggling that whole set, Joondalup, just to slow the ruck down a little bit. There's a lot of opportunity for some big forwards just to get straight back to the feet on their hands and knees and roll on with the play. It just accounted in so many extra metres with marks not getting set. Gilmore Spence again in defence was rolling back hard with the ball, but going to have to slow these rucks down a little bit more to hold some momentum. Gilmore Spence through the hands to Jupp as well again.
Again, you hear the great communication from James Maggio just on the run, just providing some feedback to the Rabbitohs who are not making enough effort to get back on side.
Gilmore Spence tackled with a head of steam again. They might need to start looking 2 passes outside. Start to get a little bit of width in the attack now. Talamara misses the tackle, gives an opportunity to cut back in wider. Topaz Porter now. Loose out the back, play on. Nothing to have a look at here. Ellie Warren goes aerially. Ruru Hanaki with a little bit of ground to cover before reeling this in. Gets away from Area.
It's a good kick, that one.
Caused a little bit of trouble. Ellenbrook weren't quite ready to come back in and support. No passing option. A nice little break from half again. Turner wrapped up in a vicious tackle.
You've got to be vicious when you're tackling Jariah Turner. You can't go in half-hearted against her. She'll fight for everything. And again, the Giants, they've definitely got that on the tip sheet because they've been trying to rough her up every time they have tackled up. She turns that one underneath to Assam, and again, goes half through the line and some good metres. She's certainly having to really step up the work rate. That one underneath and a good line, but the inside defence there working hard for the Giants. Turner again, she's getting her hands on the ball plenty. She rolls that one in behind and the Giants will have to work it out of their own corner, or maybe not. They're into the backfield and away. Well, it is shut the gate time. Hayley Hufo, I said we wanted to see her more involved. And you don't get more involved than running 100 metres to score the Giants' first try of 2024.
Well, half-time was quickly approaching for the Giants there, and Hayley Hefo's got out of a spot of bother. 6-0 wouldn't have been a scoreline you were too worried about, but in a high field position, only a couple of seconds to go, and that makes things a lot more attractive into this second half for the Joondalup Giants. Look at the stride out here by Hefo. Absolute determination. Just one check over the shoulder to make sure that we were in the clear. Confident ball running. Confident interception. Now you just need to finish it off with a confident kick.
Well, I think interestingly, you look at the effort there from Kaylee Thompson at the end as well. Perhaps not the fastest player in the competition, but she was still there giving it everything right to the point where Hayley was putting the ball down. Made sure she was under some sort of pressure to do so. So that's great effort from the Rabbitohs. But on the other end of the spectrum, as we see that conversion attempt, the flags do go up. It was a real toe poke, that one, but it goes over. But on the other end of the spectrum, we talked about the good kick chase from the Rabbitohs earlier on today, but that was very poor kick chase. It was a good kick down to the corner. No one there, and Hayley Hufo was able to go through very, very easily.
There certainly wasn't a rock-solid line of 4 chasing like there was at the start of the half. 6 apiece here now. Half-time looming. Might get a chance for just a little bit more action. Ellenbrook do not seem too much interested in following this up. And at 6-all, would you call it even in the first half here, Donnie? You'd say obviously a little bit more territory in possession Ellenbrook's way, but would you call them more than 10% in front?
I think momentum has swung. I think the Rabbitohs have probably played the more professional game. They played a very controlled game. But the Giants have created the more chances. They've created the more clean breaks. We've seen Ruru Hanaki had to come up with 2 or 3 try-saving tackles. So I think the scoreline is a great reflection of what we've seen so far.
Deep in their own half. Jump with time to build up a little head of steam. Shrugs away Rangi Clare. And when they're calling it loose far side.
Well, this is a big opportunity now. The Rabbitohs weren't too keen to get the kick-off underway, but now they might be hoping they have a few extra seconds on the clock. It's an unfair game sometimes. It actually jumps at a really good half to come up with an error that might see a team end up going to the sheds behind as Cope stands in the tackle. Well, she was looking for someone to offload to, and Jerea Turner had a back turned, setting up the next play. Might have been an opportunity if they were awake, but Turner takes that one into contact once more. Quick play the ball. Claire gets there to dummy half. Sarah Assam able to run a long way before she gets to jump. And again, if they get a quick play the ball, there's an opportunity to the left. They go that way, and the pass is not where it needed to be.
Kaylee, where's the control?
Well,
No control. No.
and again, a conversation between referee and Kaylee Thompson trying to claim that wasn't a knock-on. I think Percentage Grendel clearly putting that one down.
I think you'd have half a case in Union League. I don't think we've seen that not called in 10 years. Still got to exit effectively here, Joondalup. Another error would be more than costly. Nice little dig on the outside again, Air.
You talk about not wanting an error, and then around the corner pass from Warren inside her own 20.
No worries at all. Warren with a smarter head goes straight up the line. Now they can start getting turned to the ball users. Edwards shrugs one off and gives the offload too. They still want to play a little bit of footy. Gilmore spends backwards now. Bit of extra defensive pressure coming from Ellenbrook. Tackler on the floor. Good bounce for Edwards. Didn't want to bar that initially when it was going low.
And that's that player that you mentioned. It was down for Ellenbrook. Referee just calling time off.
Good bit of discomfort there. While we wait, wonder if we can get a chance to see the way that ball just bounced up to Chanel Edwards there. She went similar to the hands behind the back that we saw at the start of the half from Ellenbrook, where didn't want a bar of it and it popped up like a cherry.
I don't know whether Chanel Edwards really wants to be bending down around her ankles to pick up too many. So
it's not in the contract, Donny. It's not in the contract.
I'm sure she'll be very grateful to have one pop up nicely into her arms.
Turn to the ball users.
Going through range of motion now on the
Edwards
ground.
shrugs one off.
Smile on the face now, so back to her feet. That is that the try scorer there for the Rabbitohs, Chico Harris. So they'll be glad to have her able to continue in this game, although she might be heading off for a little bit of a rest.
A little bit of footy. Gilmore spends backwards now.
We have a look at this replay that Nick was talking about.
Defensive pressure coming from Ellenbrook. It's the tackle itself. Tackler on the floor.
And there's the half-time siren sounding. Both teams will have a bit of a breather. 6-all on the fuel to go and play premiership. The fuel to go and play scoreboard. The Westpac Women's Premiership.
Yeah, we'll take a short little break. We'll come back with more NRL WA action and a wrap of what's going to come in the second half right after this. Second half of this NRL WA Westpac Women's Premiership just about to get underway. Round 1, the grand final rematch, and well, all locked up 6 apiece, Donny. Just a couple of tries in the first half, and well, we're speaking about it briefly before we went into that halftime break on maybe advantage Ellenbrook, maybe advantage Giants, purely because of the opportunities. It's a class versus opportunity sort of matchup at the moment.
It certainly is. I think, yes, as I said before we went to the break, I think Joondalup look the more dangerous. They look like they've got the more strike weapons across the park, but they haven't had the territory. They haven't been able to build that pressure. They're lacking a little bit of that sort of game management in the spine. But in terms of pure athletes, pure class and speed, you've got to say the Giants in front. But yeah, who wins probably out, the more professional or the more athletic?
Well, I think if you inject Biddle and Hefo a little bit into this second half, find them a little bit of extra footy. I mean, I don't know what their pre-seasons were like, but I know they've got the tank when fit, that's for sure.
Absolutely, 100%. Karakura Chernak into dummy half. As the Giants' first use of the ball. Just trying to get a completed set here. They have come up with the few errors, as we see again a pass just behind Ashley Jupp. She reached back for it and knocks it on. She's come up with a couple of errors in succession. And again, the first opportunity, territory advantage Ellenbrook.
Try scorers for the first half while we got the first break in play. Chico Harris for Ellenbrook and Hayley Hefo going 100 metres for the Joondalup Giants.
Yeah, very, 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 very different tries.
Very different.
Chico Harris went about 1 metre, and and from the scrum when Ellenbrook come up with a knock on.
We go back, we play the last play of the ball, which will be the scrum. That's the rules.
Well, there we go. The referee saying that he got in the way there, and that
he forced an error.
Yes. So the ruling there is they go back to the last play, which was the scrum. So Ellenbrook take 2.
Has he forgotten this is a Joondalup home game? Yeah, there's a bit of footy gods. There's a footy gods. Joondalup home game. You can't be giving that rubber the green away. That makes me happy.
Unbelievable. And Kaylee Thompson, I don't know if she said anything there, but there was definitely a stare.
Natural reaction was to go. A stare. I don't think she had anything in the chamber. Now Joondalup just got to make a full set out of this. Compound the error.
Got to get your head in there. You can't just stand there waiting for it.
Ruhanaki feeding the scrum. Not Ruhanaki, Biddle. Sorry, wrong number 1. Mix it up in my head. Good to see Biddle injected around the ball as well. Good call for it. Warren playing the ball just on halfway. Edwards, chance to build up a decent amount of speed.
You've got to get up in Edwards' face. You can't allow her to build up a head of steam like that, because she's going to bump the first player off every time.
Good second line of attack. Arira goes towards the sideline and cuts back in. Offload. She's thrown them all night. Came off the toe. Play on. Amira Edwards. 10 out. They go from half. Trying to sneak underneath. Not quite there for Parakura Chernak. Got to settle into this last couple of tackles now. Just off the boot and nothing able to come of it in the end. Rangi Clare will just surrender.
Well, the pass from dummy half from Gilmore Spence. Parakura Chernak, normally the dummy half. She went for a run the previous play. Yet a fill-in, didn't throw the right pass, and El Warren didn't knock it on, managed to keep her hands out of the way, but it came off the leg straight into the arms of the Rabbitohs, and they survived. But it was another dangerous set from the Joondalup Giants. It started with a great pass. So put Herrera away. Now the Rabbitohs work up towards halfway as they look to regain that territorial advantage. They'll probably do it with a good kick at the end of this set. Turner under some pressure though, so didn't quite get as much on it as she wanted. Kaylee Thompson pursuing well. Picked up nicely there though. Wicca was able to counter-attack, and Now a bit of a tangle of bodies, and Jerea Turner gets up, but I think it's Mahina Rangi Claire is, yes, correct. But stayed down, clutching at the back of her neck. Had the pleasure of calling the Women's League tag game with Mahina last week, making your local media services company debut on the microphone.
Good talent. I heard good reports.
She did a very good job. Confident speaker. She requested it. Caleb Reedy was going to join me for that game, and
palmed off.
Mahina, she actually went up and she said, "Can I do it?" So she wanted to have a crack and did a good job.
I like that. Producer Dave, big nod of the head. That's rare as well.
Yeah, good to see her back to her feet.
On the whistle, tackle 1.
Still 6-all here. If you were to go and play scoreboard, it's Edwards. So Marie Edwards up over halfway, just driven back to the Giant side of halfway. But now Chanel Edwards has the next carry. Again, able to pick up 8 or 9 metres. That pass put Biddle under a bit of pressure, but good fingertip control. Puts it back on the inside to Jupp. Surrender tackle. The Rabbitohs don't take as long as they could have. Again, ball in 2 hands and taking the run, Gilmore Spence. Work to the left-hand side for the kick for Warren. Bit of a banana kick, but sits up nicely.
Spots a gap.
Went looking for a gap, but it closed quickly. Now Thompson out of dummy half with... That's probably been one of the facets of the game that Joondalup have struggled with the most, is that marker play. They quite often, the Rabbitohs play the ball a bit too quickly for them to get set.
Are they too nice returning to the feet, you think, Donnie? That's what it looks like to me a little bit this evening. They're more than happy to comply with the referee's direction of get up now.
Maybe contest him a little bit more.
They haven't got a penalty for it yet, so there's certainly some wiggle room. Good work by the 2-8s last. Nice little jab over the top from Jerea Turner. Dealt with nicely. Foxcroft.
You know, another thing that's surprising me is Jerea Turner doing a lot of the long kicking. I would have thought Kaylee Thompson would take on that responsibility. She's got a great long kicking game.
Good tackle, Rangi Claire.
Great technique.
Maybe it's just to keep Kaylee for the actual attacking kick, so that there's no real built-up pressure around her as a kicker, and then when they're actually looking for an advantage.
You see that shot again on replay.
Must be feeling a little bit better. Out the side for Ellie Warren. Numbers both sides, asking for the ball. A little chip kick. Ruhanaki trying to go through the middle. Sorry, Biddle again. That's twice I've got both wrong. Just 2 impressive number 1s.
Well, the number 1's coming together, and we see Biddle with a bit of push and shove with the dummy half there from Ellenbrook.
Didn't like something.
I'm surprised that's allowed to stand. No action at all from the referee. See if they come together there. Biddle doesn't get involved in that tackle. Slowish play the ball as Turner goes across field, turns one underneath. And now we see the Giants actually slowing that play the ball down. So maybe they heard you, Nick, because they're straight into that as soon as they've altered that part of their game pretty quickly. We see
it's immediately having an effect.
Well, and allowed to do it too, allowed to get away with it.
Good
There's a step and go. Again, getting to the outside. Moika. Well, they've tested her out. She dropped one earlier, and they've put a few kicks down her way to start this second half, and she stood up to all of them and has looked to counter-attack on each occasion as well. So another exciting talent with the Joondalup Giants. They're keeping the ball alive, so getting some second phase play going. Parakura Shernak goes past Sarah Sam, but Turner comes in to roll her onto her back and slow her down. Now Warren. Oh, and the ball hits the deck and the pressure comes off. Topaz Porter just
I was about to say, you could start feeling the build from Joondalup. The last two sets have slowly built into what would be an advantage territorially, mindset-wise, and releases all the pressure off the back of it.
Oh, another penalty going against Ellenbrook with the ball in hand.
No, that's fine. She's milking.
But so we've got to watch both ways.
Yeah, 100%. Enough's enough.
All good.
Edwards, once the lines are set, allowed to tap and go. Good tackle first up though. Can immediately get this pressure back on. Edwards, no real way through. Holding on to the ball well, Ali.
And that'll go the other way, I think. And again, it's exactly the same thing. So that's a bit of a square up and some back chat March 10. Well, that one might frustrate Joondalup a little bit because Kaylee Thompson's been allowed to get away with having a chat all night.
A lot of chat. And you can't say the chat's not effective because Thompson asked directly for watch both ways now and gets the reverse penalty immediately. Sometimes valid. Assam straight into Edwards.
Well, it's often the way you do it. Kaylee Thompson does do it in a way where she's still showing some sort of respect, but letting you know that she thinks you're wrong. Claire giving the pass to Tukiwaho. Tukiwaho's been good since she's come onto the field. They work to the right-hand side, able to run a long way inside border. Thompson with one to beat, a bit of footwork, and will score under the posts. Well, she'll have a chat and she'll let people know about that one.
That's a good run, a good build-up all the way from the Rabbitohs, but, I mean, that's 3 steps in very quick succession. Not really moving laterally at all, Kaylee Thompson, but certainly had the fullback beaten for all money on the way through here.
Well, again, it was just the Giants on their heels a little bit, and then Jereya Turner able to run a long way there before she got to the defensive line, and then just players in motion, picks up Kaylee Thompson, who screams through a gap, and some really good footwork as well from Thompson. A bit of a right foot, left foot.
The second time, the second time playing it, she went and had a big push.
But it wasn't
But then it was somebody who said something else to me.
Okay.
Cool.
Good comms once again.
He's been good tonight, James Maggio. Like he has been clear in his direction, and
a lot of other nights you might talk about the involvement or the wanting to be over-involved of a referee, but I think he's been asked a lot of questions, and I think he's given a lot of good answers tonight.
He's handled the chat well. He's been able to give feedback on the run to prevent penalties from occurring as well at times, and losing a little bit of patience with players just getting a bit of push and shove in the ruck. And one each way as the conversion attempt successful from Thompson. She improves her night, and it's 12 points to 6 to the Rabbitohs on the Fuel to Go and Play scoreboard.
Take one more look at it, rolling through the middle of the ground. Rabbitohs just know exactly how to pull these plays together. The inside ball clean, and then just watch this 1, 2, 3 from Kaylee Thompson. Never really moved off one straight line at all. All class. Around 10 minutes to go here. Certainly not out of this Joondalup. They've won the last 2 on the trot against the Rabbitohs. Probably the only time they've won 2 on the trot against them. They're only 1 score away from levelling up. Ball allowed to bounce a fair while deep inside Rabbitohs territory. Ifo comes out to effect the tackle. And they're getting physical. Probably a little too physical, Donny.
Well, we've said over the last few minutes how Joondalup they've started to push that envelope and find out where the line is. They just found it out. But it's unusual to be this far into the game before you find that line. Usually you do that in the opening exchanges. And I think you were right when you said both teams maybe being a little bit too nice, a bit too friendly in round one. And they're really starting to play some footy as this one gets close towards the back end. We wait for the Rabbitohs to tap the ball and get back underway. Tui Cope hasn't had a lot of involvement tonight, so look for something special from her. We know she's got some great touches in her. And they go up over the halfway and a little tip on pass to Assam.
Stand together.
Claire waits at dummy half. Goes out to Turner. Turner to Ali. To fight to her feet. Claire again waits, takes a step out of dummy half, then they come back in behind the ruck. That's a really good run, finding some space in behind from Paseni Grandel. And the quick play of the ball. Thompson will work off the back of that.
Great
Goes
ball.
for long pass and into space. Towards the line, gets down low, gets the ball down. And the try to Tiaroa.
Saw that from a mile off. As soon as there was that hint of front foot ball, no longer do we need to find a short runner. Late in the set, no need for a kick either. You, Kaylee Thompson, just this little breath of fresh air, and she's going to find the right passing option every time. Both outside runners could have grabbed this ball. Inside one decides to take it on the chin and surrenders over the line nicely. Beautiful work.
We saw almost that exact play in the first half, where the cutout pass did go to that outside runner to Chelsea Penueta, and she put it down, but was open, was free, the play was on. So every time the Rabbitohs are able to get on the front foot, get the ball in Kaylee Thompson's hands, she's got runners, options, she's going to pick the right one almost every time. It's just a matter of whether the outside players are good enough to take advantage of it, and there they were.
Well, it's amazing the confidence you have by having a player of this calibre in the side, because you're running on the outside and Kaylee Thompson's got the ball in her hands. You go, well, I better get out of second gear here and I better be ready to catch the ball. Yeah. And then all of a sudden you just got options everywhere.
Important to point out, we said Kaylee Thompson is back. She didn't just have a year off or anything like that. She was over playing in the New South Wales Women's Premiership. So had a crack to try and make the NRLW as the kick from out wide. A pretty good one, just waved away. So 16-6, the Rabbitohs lead on the fuel to go and play scoreboard here in the Westpac Women's Premiership round one. So we again see that try assist from Kaylee Thompson to go with the try she's already scored and a couple of goals to her name. And great to have her back in the Western Australian Rugby League.
Absolutely. Probably need one quickly here, the Giants. Got to convert as well. Then door is open for a late one.
Yeah, I think they probably deserve to finish with the score no worse than this. They've been very, very good, very competitive, and they've created a number of chances. But Ellenbrook has scrambled very well. Their last line of defence from Ruru Hanaki was tremendous in that first half. But the Giants perhaps just making a few too many errors, a few too many mistakes, and Ellenbrook really starting to get on the front foot. They struggled a little bit to establish their power game, I thought, in the first half, the Rabbitohs. But now they're rolling.
Happy to have that as a round one. Chalk it up as well. You can do a move as many times as you want in training during the off season. Never quite matches up to the pace of a game. Getting involved at half, doing everything, and there's a little miscommunication. Inside ball to Assam. No hands ready to receive it at all.
Which is strange, because Jerea Turner has done that all night. Just gone across field and dumped it inside to a runner. You'd think you'd be expecting it if you're in that position.
Got to find a couple of big meter gains here. Going to have to be active throughout this set, Joondalup. Well, we're through at the moment, and Assam will drag this one down, trying to soak up a couple of seconds. Edwards, rare on the pass, means they are trying. Nowhere really for Hefo to go, but manages to get the hands free. And Moika has to dart back on the inside, slips the tackle of Thompson. 37 out from the line. Still a mountain of work. Now Biddle over the top. Testing Ruruhanaki again. Might be a little bit too deep. Ruruhanaki collects in goal and tackled. Might have come a little bit loose. Hard to tell on the shrubbery.
Must be only just in the field of play.
Might have done really well there, Ruruhanaki, to get in field.
It was a beautiful kick from Biddle.
Ooh, too long again, and that's a little bit stiff.
Yeah, I thought that was a little... She earned the right. She dominated that tackle. She was over the top. I thought deserved a little bit longer. In any case, the Rabbitohs get the piggyback out of their own end as Thompson finds the sideline. Up near the 40-metre line.
Yep.
They're starting to slow things down a little bit here. Kaylee Thompson happy to work towards full time, maybe set some things up and give some less experienced players a chance to show what they've been working on at training. They move over towards the middle of the field, just tipped on.
Jupp's tackling's been really good on the inside all night. Been in every single inside contest. Flat ball, trying to poke a hole, Passini Grinnell.
Well, that's where Turner is at her best. She's been going too far across field, but when she straightens up and squares up the shoulders, she can be a very good ball player.
Loose out the back, lost control. It's go time now for Joondalup. If you want to roll the dice, maybe the early kick even as well.
It's back. It's still propelled forward. Scrum.
Well, we've talked a bit about how that they seem to be the team that's got the speed. So they're one of those famous Tony Romo moments where you've called that kick from the scrum win in
kick
the past.
Kick on one,
yeah. we might wouldn't be the worst of options for them here. They need to pull a rabbit out of the hat, which is pun completely intended.
Early, we'll take the penalty.
You've got the option of the repack or the full penalty. All right, there's your mark.
Because they're given the option of a repack at the scrum with Ellenbrook breaking early from the scrum. A lot of teams will take that repack option because if they break again the second time, then it's 10 in the bin.
Yeah. I mean, and interesting when you're just going to tap and go as well. You kind of do want that repack to make that space. That's all right. Time was really the question here.
Agree. Hefo, again, trying to put in some footwork on Cope. Again, just trying to use that extra agility that they've got. That's their advantage. Is Jupp.
Stripped.
Well, there was two in the tackle there, I believe.
And now we've got a little roll on. Chance for Parakurashunak, centre of the ground. Steps inside the first tackle. Now gets around Assam. Needs to surrender here. Oh, pop even works better. Area gets a little bit wider. Pins the ears back and through. And now they need to take the conversion quickly but make sure of it. But there's still a live chance here. Only about a minute or so to go.
Well, great heads-up footy there from Parakurashunak to get the quick tap. Allowed to go. And then, as you said, he was just about to get tackled. The play was about to die and gets that late offload. And Herrera just pins the ears back. Well, again, it's what we've been talking about most of the night, about how much faster they are. They've just got so much more speed. In those one-on-one situations, they're beating Ellenbrook again and again. And that was Herrera against Kaylee Thompson, and she was too quick.
Just a little bit too quick. It's all it takes. As long as you can stride away. Hefo's sure taking a decent amount of time with this kick, so maybe they're even just surrendering the thought. Just going for percentage here.
If she knocks this over, then maybe she had a bit of a quick look back at the scoreboard there to see how long was left. But repositioning, this is what you would expect if they were in front.
Yeah.
At this stage of the game.
I'd almost be kicking the ball away and gambling, we'll get the next one if we get it, to take the lead.
And the kick just stabs towards the post and knocks it over.
Good kick. Worth it in the end. Dying moments of this game. There's one live chance left.
Well, you'd think they've got a score in this next set. Not knowing exactly how long is remaining. We see that try again with the Rere. Thompson just not fast enough to cover on the inside.
Referee demanding at least seeing some action.
And Kaylee Thompson, once again, she knows the rules. She knows what she can get away with here. I've never seen a situation where a referee is brave enough to actually penalise a team for time wasting. Take as much time off the clock as you can. As long as you're making your way up, you're not just stopping still.
It's positive progress the entire way to the line.
Make sure it's positioned perfectly on the tee. Just another late adjustment. Make sure everyone's ready. And we're underway. Took every second that she could. And Edwards will charge back. Met heavily by the Rabbitohs defence. So what have they got? What trick shot do the Giants have up their sleeve? Little look to those players, the Biddles, the Hefos. Another strong carry, but good contact from Paseni Grendel. Now they work. Dummy goes out to Hefo. Hefo held onto the jersey there, did Thompson.
Yeah.
And grabs hold of the leg, gives away the penalty. Tap and go, Hayley Hefo. She's off. She's through. She's into the backfield. Hayley Hefo will just win the game for the Joondalup Giants.
Gee, you always got to be careful. You said at the start of this one, Donnie, that Ellenbrook wouldn't even mind losing this game. I don't think they're going to take too kindly to losing it this way in particular.
Well, that is wonderful rugby league, and it's further evidence of what we've been saying most of the night, that Joondalup look like they can score from absolutely anywhere, but they keep coming up with mistakes and Ellenbrook have been the more professional sort of team. It was a professional foul that Kaylee Thompson gave away and tried to slow down that play the ball. But the quick tap, everyone had their backs turned too fast.
I mean, I don't even think we need to really discuss votes now. I mean, Hefo's probably secured that number 3 spot, and we can share around the 2 and the 1 for everyone else. Ruru Hanaki off to the bin. Part of the professional foul maybe that we saw on the inside as well.
Well, I think Ruru Hanaki maybe might have had a bit to say after that try was scored.
Time back on.
Not being very happy with the quick tap being allowed.
Wait. Gotta wait till she's off before you can put it up.
And we're going to follow the rules.
Yeah, this time I think she might take a little bit longer about this conversion attempt from right in front, because has to kick it to put the side in front. 16 all, but given she's just kicked one from a little bit wider, you'd expect that she's going to kick this to give the Giants victory in round 1.
And that'd be 3 on the trot against the Rabbitohs. They've certainly got the upper hand at the moment. Come as you like. Hefo does it well. 18 plays 16. The Giants take a good late lead, and now they've got to hold on for all they're worth. Get the home crowd a first victory of the season. Defeat the minor premiers.
Well, we saw how long the Rabbitohs took to get back to halfway last time. This time they're sprinting up to halfway. The kick from Thompson towards the sideline. It's a great kick.
Nudge.
Finds the line. This game ain't done yet.
That's experience if you've ever seen it. Didn't even use a tee, just shoveling it to the sideline.
It's screaming to get in there to pack the scrum. The Rabbitohs are running in from everywhere to try and pack it.
Heads in, arms around.
The Giants, eventually they get there. Turner to feed this scrum. Comes out the back. Goes across to Thompson. Thompson, she's going to put a little grubber in behind. Chasing through. It sits up, and who's there to clean up the scraps? It's Hayley Hifo.
I think it's got
A
to
double
be patient.
tonight.
One.
And just keeps kicking goals. Both literally and figuratively.
Stand up now. Two.
Judd controlling the ball runners on the inside. Nice work by Gilmore. Spence siren in the background. Final score 18-16. From the absolute clouds in round one, Donny Bell, the Giants have taken it home against the Rabbitohs once again. And I think the statement has got to be true. That's probably the only way Ellenbrook would not have liked to have lost that game.
Well, they had the game wrapped up, 16-6. We talked about them being professional game managers, how they have all of that advantage. They just win the game from there. Like that, it's all over. It's consolation time for Joondalup. And then all of a sudden, 2 tries in a couple of minutes, long-range tries, both on the back of quick taps from penalties given away from the Rabbitohs.
Uncharacteristic Rabbitohs penalties as well, not ones you normally see given by Rabbitohs. So very interesting end to round one. And if that shapes up for anything of the Westpac Women's Premiership for 2024, I think we're in for a decent year, Donny.
Absolutely. If every game that we call this year is as good and as close as that, then we can have a lot of fun.
I mean, if you had to separate the 2 and the 1 votes, we're going 3 for Hayley Hifo, but if you had to go 2 and 1.
Well, again, I think it was a great return from Kaylee Thompson. I think she just controlled things for Ellenbrook. She was involved, scored a try, setter, had a hand in a couple of others. So I think I would go with her as being the Rabbitohs' best. And the one, well, I don't know. You sort of look at it. Ashley Jupp, as we said, very, very good defensively. I think she was very good. Mahina Rangi-Claire had a moments defensively as well.
Yeah.
So a few good performers, obviously, through the forwards.
Dish it around.
Yeah.
Dish that 1 point around.
One to everybody else.
Well, it might be just a wrap down here at Admiral Park for what has been a beautiful round one for 2024. The Fuel to Play and Go scoreboard one more time, 18-16. Joondalup over the Ellenbrook Rabbitohs. Hope you all had a fun time this evening joining us live wherever you are. I hope you get home safe if you are watching live at the ground, and we'll see you all next time.